Hey, it's Howard Neller from the Listening Chair. Welcome, we're glad to have you. Today we're at Capital Audio Fest 2024. Myself and Kemper Holt from the Listening Chair, and we're here with Gary Coe from Genesis Advanced Technologies. Gary, you've come all the way from Seattle, right?
From Seattle, yes, a little town outside Seattle called Woodinville.
Excellent. And I know you guys have a rich history. We're going to hear a little bit about it and a little bit about some of your products. Without any further ado, let's hear from Gary, and let's roll the tape.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Kemper, for taking the time this early Saturday morning to visit us. Genesis, as you know, has had a long history. We started in 1991 with Arnie Newdell. I took over the company in 2002 with Genesis Advanced Technologies, and I took over design and development from Arnie in 2006 after he had retired. So what I'm introducing to the audience this year is that we've got a brand new series of loudspeakers, which I call the Gateway series, that would bring audiophiles into the really high end of Genesis. But let's start with the source.
Okay.
Right? Where we have is actually a new cartridge. The cartridge is not a Genesis product. It's a product that I was one of the partners in developing. It's a product called the Hypersonic X4. And the reason I went into developing a cartridge was that I felt, having been doing recording, direct-to-disc recording, and listening to the product, I felt that there were things in the groove that we did not extract. The new cartridge is unique in that it's probably one of the first with a multi-layer core moving coil. And that comes from my history in developing inductors for my crossovers as well. The cartridge has got solid diamond cantilever, has got a line source, has got a line contact stylus, and has got a very low output. But what is unique is that it's got what we call inertial stability within the cartridge itself. And that allows the cartridge to work better with all tone arms.
Well, speaking of tone arms, what do you have? What kind of table do we have here today in tone arm?
The tone arm, this is it is a prototype of the new dark light from the wand. Simon Brown, a New Zealander, has designed these, and he was kind enough to send me prototypes to try out for the show. The dark light tone arm, it has got a tapered carbon fiber tube. And if you look at the taper, you might think that it's unusual. But the taper is what he calls a musical taper. And so that the resonances within this taper are a progression, a musical progression away from the cartridge, and that reduces the interaction between the tone arm and the cartridge as well. So it's a very, very neutral tone arm. It works with all music. Okay. The turntable is called the Wand Master. This is a very early production. And it is unique in that it's got a built-in battery supply. The phono stage is actually my old tried and true Genesis phono stage. I designed this about 10 years ago when I had a phono stage that had lots of settings and loadings. It had capacitative as well as resistive loadings. But you never know which is right. You know, one sounds different from the other. How do you know which one is correct? And I'm all about transparency. I like to hear the music, not to hear the gear. And loading is necessary because of the capacitative tank circuit in the tone arm cable and the tone arm wires. So loading is a way to fix a problem. But what if you eliminated the problem in the first place? The Genesis phono has got the loading has got no settings because it's immune to that resonance. So by not having any settings, no loading, no gain settings either, it's just basically a plug and play.
What else do you have in the system?
The heart of the system is the Helicon from Heat Audio. The Helicon is a limited edition preamp and power and monoblock system. They sell it as a package for $30,000. And I think it's one of the best values that I've come across in amplification lately. We've also got the Revox B77 Mark II.
Okay.
This is a brand new machine, not a refurbished machine. This is serial number 1 of 10 of the yellow Revox series. Then we've got the analog audio design TP1000 tape machine.
Okay.
And this is, again, developed from new.
Now, I'm very curious about these speakers.
Genesis has always been known for monstrous loudspeakers. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring in something that you could get into the high end. But once you get into the high end, I also do not want you to come down from the high end sound. So what I've tried to do in the Genesis 7 series is to bring the high end sound of Genesis down to an affordable level. This is the largest of the Genesis 7 series. This is the Genesis Foxtrot. And the Genesis Foxtrot, I wanted to be able to deliver the bass that Genesis lovers desire, but without going through the expense of the servo control and servo amplifier and all that. So it's got two 8-inch woofers in isobaric configuration. The two woofers are in a tightly sealed cap box, and they move in tandem with a big cavity behind them. So they work together to deliver a much lower, tighter bass without going to pots or self-amplification.
Okay.
To deliver the mid-range that Genesis is known for, we could not afford a 48-inch ribbon. So to do this, we designed a solid titanium cone that's 5.5 inches in diameter. Usually when you talk about solid titanium cones, they are a tweeter. This is a 5.5-inch titanium mid-woofer. And above that is a Genesis ribbon tweeter. The famous Genesis ribbon used all the way from Genesis Prime all the way down to the Genesis 7. We use bamboo because it's very stiff, but also non-resonant. And it's also very environmentally friendly. The finishes are all water-based, non-off-gassing, no organic compounds at all.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful
they
finish.
sound great.
Yeah.
They sound great. The grills are non-removable because what I've done is I've allowed a layer of air in between the transducer and the room, and this layer of air trapped by the grill allows the transducer to more effectively and more efficiently move the air in the room. That way they disappear better when you're listening. The speakers are very easy to drive. The sensitivity measurement is 87 dB per watt, but they are 4 ohm speakers. The other thing is that what I've done is, because I design amplifiers as well, I understand the way a driver and a crossover and a loudspeaker uses power from the amplifier. So we make them very efficient. So I've driven this with a 11-watt Jadis tube integrated amplifier.
Beautiful.
And I've driven them with a 35-watt integrated solid-state amplifier.
What's the price on these?
These are $16,999, $17,000.
Okay. And we have, I think on the other side of the room, if we take a walk, we're going to have the little baby brother to these, right?
Yes, we have the little baby brother to these, and those are the Minuets. The 7 series come in three sizes. The small one is the Minuet, the mid-sized one is the Tango, and the large-sized one is the Foxtrot. Okay, so these are the small speakers, the G7 Minuets, and the G7 Minuets retail at $9,800. What I wanted them to do was to be the entry level to the high end for the beginner audiophile. The Minuet, like its big brother, also has got a Genesis ribbon tweeter. The crossover components are the same. It's also got the same solid titanium mid-woofer, and it delivers 3 notes less in room than that.
So is that what your theory is, how you work? Like if you buy the smaller speaker, you're not getting less technology, you're just getting a little bit less volume?
Yes, yes. You go down the levels, the Genesis, the big ones, will go all the way down to the low pedal on an organ. But who listens to that all the time? The Minuets will go down to the low note on electric bass, which is about 32 hertz. So 32 hertz musically, in the measured anechoic response, they go down to about 58 hertz, which is a little bookshelf. But realistically, when you're playing music, it delivers everything down to a double bass.
Gary, I understand we have something special to listen to today.
So we have a lacquer that was cut by Bernie Grumman. If you know him, this is Bernie Grumman's handwriting. And it's an album by Groove Note, and the singer is Vanessa Fernandez. I'm not sure of the album title, but we've got the lacquer here.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. That sounds interesting.
How did I get so far gone?